Imagine being so dangerous that governments fear your voice, not your weapons, not your wealth, just your words and a melody. In 1992, when Cocoa Tea released his song Rikers Island, radio stations yanked it from airplay. When he recorded Barack Obama during the historic 2008 campaign, they did the same thing. Why? Because when Cocoa Tea speaks, people listen. And power has always feared that kind of influence. You think music is just entertainment. For this man, it's been a weapon of truth for over 40 years. While superstars chased fame with scandals and gimmicks, a humble fisherman from Jamaica built a legacy that outlasted them all. This isn't just another music documentary. This is the story of how a man with nothing but his voice changed reggae forever. And by the end of these 25 minutes, you'll never hear music the same way again. The blue waters of Rocky Point, Jamaica, hide many secrets. But in 1959, they gave the world a gift when Calvin George Scott was born in this small fishing village in Clarendon Parish. Before stages and spotlights, young Calvin was just another fisherman casting nets into Caribbean waters, singing to pass the long hours under the unforgiving sun. His sweet, distinctive voice earned him a nickname that would later become legendary, Cocoa Tea, inspired by his love for hot cocoa, a beloved Jamaican breakfast staple. As he pulled fish from the sea, no one suspected this simple fisherman would one day pull hearts and minds across the globe with that same gentle strength. The Jamaica of Cocoa Tea's youth was a nation in transition. Having gained independence from British colonial rule in 1962, the island was finding its voice politically and culturally. Music became the heartbeat of this national awakening, with reggae emerging as its most powerful expression. Young Calvin absorbed these sounds and the social consciousness they carried. While other boys dreamed of cricket fame or escape to foreign shores, he was quietly developing something more precious, a voice that would one day carry Jamaica's struggles and triumphs to the world. The late 1970s saw Cocoa Tea making his first musical attempts, but success remained elusive. Like countless Jamaican artists before him, he paid his dues in local sound systems and small recording sessions, his early songs rarely reaching beyond his community. These formative years taught him resilience, a quality that would define both his career and his message in the decades to come. He learned to sing through disappointment, to find rhythm in rejection, preparing him for the journey ahead. The turning point came in the early 1980s when fate connected him with influential producer Henry Junjo Laws. This partnership birthed early hits like Rocking Dolly and I Lost My Sonia, introducing the world to his remarkable voice, smooth as honey yet textured enough to convey authentic emotion and undeniable truth. What distinguished Cocoa Tea in Jamaica's crowded musical landscape wasn't merely his exceptional vocal talent, it was his chameleon-like ability to evolve with reggae's shifting soundscapes without compromising his central message. The 1980s witnessed reggae's transformation as dancehall began overshadowing traditional roots reggae. While many artists chose sides in this musical divide, Cocoa Tea mastered both worlds. One day he could deliver conscious, spiritually infused roots reggae. The next he could switch to dancehall tracks that maintained substance beneath their infectious rhythms. This versatility ensured his relevance throughout reggae's evolutionary journey. By the mid-1980s, Cocoa Tea's star was rising rapidly as he began collaborating with King Jammy, another pivotal producer who helped reshape modern reggae sounds. Together they crafted classics like Rikers Island, showcasing not just Cocoa Tea's melodic gifts but his emerging power as a social commentator. During this period, he transformed from merely a talented singer into an artist with profound observations about the world around him. His lyrics increasingly addressed inequality, systematic oppression, and Rastafarian teachings, delivered with an authenticity that resonated with listeners worldwide. This was a time when Jamaica itself was experiencing profound social and political turmoil. The economic policies of the 1980s had created deepening poverty and unrest. Violence flared in Kingston streets as political tensions rose. While some artists retreated into escapist themes, Cocoa Tea leaned into this reality, using his growing platform to mirror the struggles of ordinary Jamaicans. He became a voice for those whose voices were seldom heard in the corridors of power: the fishermen, the market women, the youth on street corners with dreams bigger than their opportunities. The release of Authorized in 1991 marked a career milestone, with many considering it among his finest works. The title track became one of his signature songs, perfectly embodying the balance he achieved between catchy melodies and meaningful messaging. Unlike artists who dilute their convictions as their platform expands, Cocoa Tea's voice grew more politically charged and spiritually grounded as his influence widened. Songs like Oil Ting offered direct criticisms of American foreign policy in the Middle East, while other tracks explored faith, unity, and perseverance through hardship. What made these messages palatable to diverse audiences was the exquisite delivery. Even his sharpest criticisms came wrapped in that golden voice that made listeners lean in rather than turn away. While his professional trajectory soared, Cocoa Tea maintained a remarkably grounded personal life, a rarity in an industry often characterized by excess and drama. Contrary to the tumultuous relationships that frequently make entertainment headlines, he built a stable family foundation that kept him centered. Marriage provided an anchor as his career demanded increasing international travel. As a father, he approached parenting with the same dedication he brought to his music, instilling values of integrity, spirituality, and commitment in his children. This solid home life gave him the security to take artistic risks, knowing he had something meaningful to return to regardless of professional outcomes. This groundedness wasn't merely personal philosophy, it reflected his Rastafarian belief that balance in all aspects of life creates harmony. Unlike the stereotype of the reggae artist lost in clouds of marijuana smoke and mystical rhetoric, Cocoa Tea embodied a practical spirituality that manifested in how he conducted business, maintained relationships, and navigated the often treacherous waters of the music industry. He demonstrated that one could be both principled and professional, both spiritual and strategic. This balance became a hallmark not just of his personal life, but of his musical output as well. The most distinctive aspect of Cocoa Tea as an artist remains his singular vocal style. Music critics have aptly described his voice as honey over gravel, perfectly capturing its multifaceted qualities. It's simultaneously sweet yet textured, gentle yet powerful, accessible while remaining utterly unique. This vocal signature has made him instantly identifiable across 4 decades of recordings. Whether singing about romance, spiritual conviction, or political resistance, his voice carries a warmth and sincerity that invites listeners rather than alienating them with harshness. It's a voice that comforts even while delivering uncomfortable truths, perhaps explaining how he's maintained his audience while never diluting his message. Technical analysis of his singing reveals a master craftsman at work. His perfect pitch control allows for subtle emotional modulations that can shift the mood of a song in an instant. His phrasing, the way he stretches certain words and compresses others, creates a rhythmic pattern as distinctive as a fingerprint. Perhaps most importantly, Cocoa Tea understands the power of restraint. Unlike vocalists who showcase their range through constant flourishes, he uses his impressive vocal capabilities selectively, deploying them for maximum emotional impact at precisely the right moments. This musical intelligence elevates his performances from mere technical displays to profound emotional communications. Throughout his extensive career, Cocoa Tea has displayed remarkable generosity and collaboration. His partnerships with fellow reggae artists have produced some of the genre's most memorable combinations. The pairing with gravel-voiced Cuddy Ranks on The Going Is Rough created a compelling contrast that highlighted both artists' distinctive qualities. His work with Buju Banton bridged different generations of reggae excellence. Perhaps most significantly, his collaboration with the legendary Dennis Brown on Big Things united two of reggae's most beloved voices on a single track. These collaborations demonstrate Cocoa Tea's security in his artistic identity. He's never feared sharing the spotlight, understanding that musical magic often emerges from the creative friction between different voices and perspectives. This collaborative spirit extends beyond recording sessions into how he approaches the broader reggae community. In an industry often fractured by competition and ego, Cocoa Tea has been a unifying force. He's used his influence to broker peace between feuding artists, mentor emerging talents, and preserve reggae traditions while encouraging innovation. Many younger artists speak of his generosity, how he would share stage time, offer guidance without condescension, and champion their music when they were still unknown. This generosity of spirit has earned him a unique position as both elder statesman and contemporary force in reggae music. Behind every great recording artist stands a team of producers who help shape the sonic landscapes that reach listeners' ears. Cocoa Tea has worked with some of reggae's most innovative sound architects. His early mentor Junjo Laws recognized his raw potential and crafted a sound that showcased the natural beauty of his voice. King Jammy brought technological innovation and studio wizardry that expanded the sonic possibilities of Cocoa Tea's recordings. Bobby Digital created the perfect musical backdrops for his vocals during another productive period. What's remarkable is how Cocoa Tea maintained his essential artistic identity across these varying collaborative relationships, evidence of an artist who knows precisely who he is, regardless of who occupies the producer's chair. These production partnerships weren't merely technical arrangements but creative dialogues that pushed Jamaican music forward. Each collaboration represented a fusion of vision and expertise that resulted in sonic innovations that influenced countless artists who followed. The distinctive delay effects on his vocals, the specific bass frequencies that made his tracks resonate in dance halls, the perfect blend of traditional instruments with emerging digital technologies. These production choices became part of reggae's evolving language, copied but rarely equaled by those who came after. Few reggae artists have maintained such consistent political engagement as Cocoa Tea, and fewer still have managed to remain commercially viable while speaking truth to power. His 1992 track Rikers Island didn't merely reference the infamous New York Correctional Facility. It offered a scathing critique of the American justice system and its disproportionate impact on black and brown communities. Oil Ting cut through political rhetoric to expose the resource motivations behind military interventions in the Middle East. When Barack Obama campaigned for presidency, Cocoa Tea released Barack Obama, celebrating the historical significance of his candidacy, only to have the song banned from airwaves due to concerns about political neutrality. Cocoa Tea's willingness to sacrifice airplay and commercial opportunities to address vital social issues reveals what truly drives him as an artist. This political courage has come at significant personal cost. Certain territories have restricted his performances. Radio stations have blacklisted his more controversial songs. Tourism officials, concerned about Jamaica's international image, have sometimes discouraged his appearances at events marketed to foreign visitors. Yet Cocoa Tea has remained steadfast, understanding that meaningful art often requires sacrifice. Music that costs nothing to make, he once observed, is often worth nothing to hear. This willingness to bear the consequences of his artistic choices has set him apart in an industry where commercial considerations frequently trump conviction. What distinguishes Cocoa T's political music from mere protest songs is the thread of hope woven through even his most pointed criticisms. Even as he illuminates societal injustices, there's an underlying faith in humanity's capacity for transformation. This optimism amid struggle is deeply rooted in both reggae tradition and Rastafarian spirituality. It's a perspective that views current inequities as temporary, part of a larger historical arc bending toward justice. This balanced approach, unflinching about present realities yet hopeful about future possibilities, has allowed his music to inspire rather than merely agitate or depress listeners, a crucial distinction that explains the enduring resonance of his work. While proudly Jamaican in every respect, Cocoa T's music has transcended geographical and cultural boundaries to find devoted audiences worldwide. His regular appearances at major reggae festivals like Reggae Sumfest and Reggae Sunsplash have established him as a global ambassador for Jamaican culture. European audiences have particularly embraced his music, with countries like Germany, France, and the United Kingdom welcoming his tours enthusiastically. What's remarkable is how his music connects with listeners who don't share his cultural background or spiritual beliefs. The universal themes in his songs, love, justice, spiritual seeking, resistance to oppression, speak to fundamental human experiences that transcend specific cultural contexts. His international appeal demonstrates how authentic artistic expression can bridge seemingly insurmountable divides. A German teenager who has never experienced colonial oppression can nevertheless feel the emotional truth in Cocoa T's descriptions of struggle. A Japanese businessman can find resonance in songs about maintaining dignity in a system designed to diminish the human spirit. This universal connection happens not through watering down his Jamaican identity, but through expressing it so authentically that its human core becomes accessible to all. In a world increasingly divided by nationalism and cultural isolation, Cocoa T's music offers a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. Examining Cocoa T's career spanning over 4 decades, his influence on reggae music becomes undeniable. He stands as a crucial bridge figure who kept reggae's conscious tradition alive during periods when the industry gravitated toward more commercial, less message-driven approaches. Younger artists frequently cite him as an influence, not merely for his technical proficiency, but for his unwavering commitment to creating meaningful music. Chronix, Prodigy, and other leaders of the reggae revival movement acknowledge their debt to artists like Cocoa T, who kept reggae's spiritual and political flame burning during less receptive eras. His career offers a masterclass in balancing artistic integrity with commercial viability, proof that compromise isn't a prerequisite for success. Music historians note that Cocoa T's significance extends beyond his own recordings to how he preserved certain reggae traditions during periods when they might otherwise have disappeared. His continued embrace of roots themes during dancehall's ascendancy created a continuity that allowed the eventual reggae revival movement to connect back to the genre's foundations. By maintaining both musical approaches simultaneously, he created a living bridge between reggae's past and future, preventing the kind of generational rupture that has derailed other musical traditions. This preservation work, though less visible than his hit songs, may ultimately prove his most lasting contribution to Jamaican music. Like many artists from Jamaica and other developing nations, Cocoa T navigated significant challenges within an often exploitative music industry. Issues of fair compensation, publishing rights, and inequitable contracts plagued many reggae artists of his generation. The transition from physical to digital formats further complicated matters, disrupting established revenue streams and requiring adaptation to new business models. Through these challenges, Coco T maintained remarkable resilience and dignity. Rather than becoming embittered by industry difficulties, he focused on what remained within his control, creating authentic music and forging direct connections with his audience. This resilience speaks to a character forged through early hardship and strengthened by spiritual conviction. His response to these challenges offers valuable lessons beyond the music world. When digital piracy devastated album sales, Coco T pivoted to live performances rather than fighting an unwinnable battle against technological change. When streaming services offered minimal compensation to artists, he diversified his income streams rather than lamenting the new reality. When social media transformed how artists connect with audiences, he embraced these platforms without allowing them to dictate his artistic choices. This adaptability without compromise illustrates a fundamental wisdom: circumstances change, but principles need not. It's a lesson in how to navigate disruptive change without losing one's essential identity. At the core of Coco T's life and work lies his Rastafarian faith, not merely as a religious identity, but as a comprehensive framework for understanding the world and humanity's place within it. This spiritual foundation informs everything from his lyrical themes to his personal choices. Unlike some artists who embrace extravagance and excess with success, he has maintained a relatively modest lifestyle centered on spiritual rather than material wealth. This consistency between message and lived practice has earned him respect even from those who might disagree with his specific beliefs. For Coco T, music has never been primarily about entertainment or commercial success. It's a vehicle for communication, consciousness raising, and community building. This spiritual grounding provides the foundation for his longevity in a notoriously fickle industry, where artists motivated primarily by fame or fortune often falter when these rewards prove temporary. Coco T's deeper purpose has sustained him through inevitable career fluctuations. His music serves something beyond himself, a vision of a more just world, a more conscious humanity, a more compassionate way of living together. This transcendent dimension to his work explains why it continues to resonate long after many of his contemporaries have been forgotten. Music that serves something eternal contains something eternal within it. Even as he's advanced in years, Coco T remains remarkably active and relevant in today's reggae landscape. While many artists of his generation have faded into obscurity or become nostalgia acts, he continues creating music that speaks to contemporary conditions. His voice has aged beautifully, acquiring new depths and textures while retaining its essential warmth and clarity. This vocal evolution has enabled him to bring fresh nuance to older material while bringing seasoned wisdom to new compositions. Most impressively, he's maintained his ability to communicate with younger generations, addressing current issues without seeming disconnected or trapped in past glories. This sustained relevance across decades testifies to the timelessness of both his musical approach and his core messages. In recent collaborations with emerging artists, we witness not a legend resting on his achievements, but an artist still in creative dialogue with reggae's evolution. These partnerships reveal mutual respect, young artists honoring a pioneer while that pioneer remains genuinely curious about new directions in the music. This cross-generational exchange keeps Coco T's perspective fresh and his creative instincts sharp. He's avoided the common pitfall of older artists who either reject all contemporary innovations or desperately try to imitate them. Instead, he engages thoughtfully with reggae's ongoing evolution, adopting elements that enhance his expression while maintaining his distinctive artistic identity. Beyond his recordings, Coco T's legacy includes his role as mentor and elder statesman to younger reggae artists. He's generously shared knowledge, experience, and opportunities with emerging talents,
helping ensure reggae's continued vitality. His willingness to collaborate across generational lines has kept him connected to new sounds and perspectives, while allowing younger artists to benefit from his vast experience. This intergenerational exchange represents reggae at its finest, a tradition that honors its roots while remaining open to growth and evolution. In an age of disposable celebrity, Cocoa Tea offers a model of artistic longevity built on substance rather than image manipulation or trend chasing. As music consumption has transformed through streaming platforms and social media, Cocoa Tea has adapted without compromising his essential artistic identity. While not as visible on social media as younger artists, he's maintained connection with fans through regular live performances and strategic digital presence. His extensive catalog has found new life on streaming services, introducing his music to listeners who weren't born when his classic recordings were first released. This digital afterlife ensures his message continues reaching receptive ears around the world, proving that authentic expression can transcend technological and cultural shifts to remain perpetually relevant. When assessing what makes Cocoa Tea's career so extraordinary, certain qualities stand prominent: authenticity, consistency, and unwavering commitment to using music as a force for positive transformation. In an industry that often rewards artifice and trend following, he has remained true to his artistic vision and spiritual principles. His legacy isn't measured merely in hit songs or album sales, but in the lives touched and consciousness raised through his music. For new listeners discovering his extensive catalog and longtime fans who followed his journey from the beginning, Cocoa Tea represents reggae at its finest, music that entertains while elevating, that moves the body while engaging the mind and spirit. From humble beginnings as a fisherman in Rocky Point to international acclaim as a reggae ambassador, Calvin Cocoa T. Scott's journey illustrates the transformative power of authentic artistic expression. His story reminds us that great music does more than fill silence. It challenges, inspires, comforts, and connects. In the ever-evolving narrative of Jamaican music, his chapter remains one of the most compelling and instructive, a testament to what's possible when talent meets purpose and conviction. As long as there are ears to hear and hearts open to receive, Cocoa T's voice will continue resonating across time and distance, carrying messages of love, justice, and spiritual awakening to all who listen. We live in a world of manufactured celebrities and empty anthems, artists who stand for nothing and fall for anything. But Cocoa T shows us another path is possible: music that matters, music that lasts, music that lasts, music that changes how we see the world. If this story moved you, don't let it end here. Experience Cocoa T's extraordinary catalog for yourself. Start with classics like Rikers Island and Lost My Sonia, then explore his later works to witness how his sound evolved while his message remained steadfast. Hit that subscribe button now and join our community of music lovers who crave substance over spectacle. Share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that real artistic courage still exists. Leave a comment telling us how Cocoa T's music has touched your life. And remember, in an age of disposable culture, some voices echo forever. This has been the untold story of Cocoa T. Until next time, keep seeking the music that matters.